Right. Let's go. Let's wait for a few people to get in here, and then we can see whether everyone can hear me. See if the level's all right. I haven't got the help of Josh Aveste on hand today to be able to help me out with the live stream. But what I wanted to do was to do a live stream for you guys, so that I can firstly remind you that I'm going to live stream the game. Well, I'm not going to live stream the game. I'm going to do a live stream for the West Ham game on Monday night. 8 p.m. Monday night, there's going to be a live stream coming out off of the channel. I'll go live probably like 15 minutes or so before the game, and then I'll probably be live until about the 90-minute whistle. As soon as the game finishes, I'll probably stop the live, because what I'm going to then want to do is I am going to want to I'm going to want to do my post-match review. So just waiting for a few more of you to get in here. Firstly, everyone, let me know, because you lot are the ones that help me with this. Let me know, 1, if there's a lag or if I'm all good. 2, if the audio is all good as well. It looks like it's coming out all right. Yeah, let me know if everything looks all right, and we get into it. Start getting some of your questions in and whatnot. Jordan Bailey, what's happening, bro? Thoughts on Tomori to Spurs? Hadn't even heard about it. But I have heard about Rashford to Aston Villa. That's a mad one, isn't it? That's a mad one. Mudryk's second test negative. That's what I've heard. Listen, I'd love it to be. I'd love Mudryk's second test to be negative, but I do not believe that it will be. I really don't believe it will be. I've spent years following combat sports and never, ever known anyone's B, because it wasn't a second test, it's a B sample. I've explained it fucking bare times now, but just quickly, right? You do an A sample and a B sample, right? But it's the same piece of piss. So UCAD, who test Mykhailo Mudryk, are the same people that tested me after 2 of my fights, right? You do a piss, the bloke has to literally watch you do a piss. He has to watch it happen, it come out, yeah? The bloke has to watch it, and literally then you have to hold it and you have to pour it into 2 separate little things. So it's not a second test, it's the same test. It's 2 different samples. And they do a B sample because they say that, you know, you could have contamination or something like that. Right. Let's have a little look here. Everything's good. Everything's sweet, man. Nice. Thank you, Joey. Are you following the Spurs transfer drama? It seems like they can't attract Tomori or Matthias. I'm guessing you're talking about Matthias Tell. Well, I can't banter him too much because it looked like we couldn't attract Matthias Tell either. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever felt this pessimistic towards the end of a transfer window. And people will say that's mad because Chelsea have made so many signings since the Bowley and Clear Lake takeover and whatnot. But I do feel like we're in dire need of reinforcement, and obviously I feel like that reinforcement can just come from within. I'm not even saying go and spend 50, 60, 70 million on players and shit like that. I'm just saying like recall Santos, recall Petrovic, but I don't know. I'm going to start reading out some of your lot's questions. Do me a favour, people. It says to me we've got 60 viewers in here. It's a Saturday afternoon. Most people are probably out. Most people are probably watching the football. Do me a favour, smash the like button, because then we can get up to as many, or we can get as many people in here as possible. Right, okay, let's start reading out some of these comments. Is there any realistic striker option that we can bring in this transfer window? From Ebnal M. Realistic? I don't know. I mean, it kind of looks like there are reports around Evan Ferguson. I don't want to write a player off before we've had the opportunity to, see what he can do at Stamford Bridge, because, as I say, like, I wasn't massively keen on the Jadon Sancho transfer, and then that turned out to be one that I think has been very fruitful for us, very good for us, and worked out really well. And if we get him at 25 million, very, very good value for money come the end of things. So I've been wrong about him before, but I just think, look, he's not even getting in the Brighton team, really. I don't know whether he started today, but Welbeck starts ahead of him a lot of the time. He's had injuries. I know he scored, what was it, a hat-trick against Arsenal, something like that. It could have even been more. Was it 4 goals or something? I can't remember. Who is it he scored 4 goals? It might have not been against Arsenal. It might have been against Newcastle. He's had some good moments, is what I'm saying. But so's Nicholas Jackson. He offers a different dimension. I don't know. Would I go and spend 40 million on Evan Ferguson? No, I wouldn't. So striking options, yeah, he could be one, but other than that, no, I don't think we get Gorkarest through. Samu already moved. Seshko, it looks like if he goes anywhere, it'll be Arsenal, but I doubt Arsenal even get him. I don't know. Love from the USA. Big up the USA. I'm hoping to get back out there again this year. Hoping to box out there. I'd love to box in America again, man. And I've had some sick news over the past 24 hours or so in regards to a fight. Obviously, I can't say too much, but it's a fight that I never envisioned that I would be having. So it wasn't one of the ones that I was expecting to have. But fuck me, it's an exciting one. Dark Knight, big up the Dark Knight. He's always in the comments. Joey, do you ever pinch yourself and realise you get paid to talk about football and boxing? That's literally the dream life. Meanwhile, I have to work a 9 till 5 job that I don't care about, with a sigh. Yes, I do. And the times that I do have to pinch myself, that that I'm able to do this as a line of work, are probably at times, yesterday being a prime example. Last day of the tax year in the UK, we had to pay our tax yesterday, and when I'm paying a big old tax bill and stuff like that, they're the moments when I have to think, well, yeah, but look what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? Look why you've got a big tax bill, and look why. How you've worked to pay this bill off and whatnot. So yeah, I do have to pinch myself, when we do the trips, when we go to Saudi, when we went to LA, when we were live at Wembley Stadium with 90,000 people there. Of course, I have to pinch myself in those moments. But there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. There is a lot of hard work. What I won't do is I won't sit here and bullshit you, man, because I've worked plenty of 9 to 5s. I have worked, I've worked a lot longer than 9 till 5s. I've used to work 6 till 6s. I've done roofing, I've done flooring, I've done bricklaying, painting, decorating, scaffolding. I used to deliver washing machines for like 4 years. Well, not just washing machines, fridge freezers and stuff like that. Like kitchen appliances, things like that, and take away old ones, which were always really heavy. Fucked my back up doing that. So yeah, I'm in a sick position, but the thing I like most is probably the actual fighting itself. The position I've got myself into of being able to box on Misfits, that's pretty sick. That is sick. Right. Chicken Soup says, Joseph, Nottingham Forest are concerning me. Do you know, a lot of people, when like I go on holiday, people I haven't been away with and whatnot, or whenever I get asked saying, can I go, Joseph Knight, everyone goes, your name's Joseph? And I'm like, yeah, most people called Joe or Joey's names are Joseph on their passport. Nottingham Forest are concerning me. Listen, Nottingham Forest have been concerning me all season. 7-0 against Brighton. It's not bad. It's not bad going, is it? Nottingham Forest look good, man. They look good. I keep waiting for them to fall off and waiting for them to fall off. But, mate, 6 more games and they're at the 30-game mark. Do you know what I mean? And we've got 8 games left of the season. Like, am I deluded to think, they'll fall off? They'll fall off. Because when these teams do fall off, it's normally happened by now. So, Nottingham Forest for a top 5 spot. And I know that they're joint second with Arsenal at the moment. But Nottingham Forest for a top 5 spot is not out the realms of possibility. In fact, I would probably say that it's likely, if anything. Lewis Butler Deacon. Hi, Joey. Hope you're okay, mate. Love your content for the last year. Keep it up. Thank you very much. If it's Lewis or Louis, thank you, mate. Sarah. Hi, Joey. I'm from Malaysia. Big up Malaysia. Will Estavio fit into our team when he comes? I believe so, and I hope so. And if he is this generational talent, then we'll make room for him, won't we? We'll make room for him. Joey, keep me updated on the Liverpool game. Yeah, I'll have a look at the scores in a second. Most of them will still be 0-0 at the moment. I'll have a look at the scores in a second. Ben Chilwell, find a club yet from Kyle Charles? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think a couple of seasons ago, if you told me that Ben Chilwell was considering a loan move to Everton or Crystal Palace, I'd have laughed at you. So, mental. Absolutely mental, the situation that we find ourselves in. But then at the same time, I won't lie and say that I don't think we find ourselves in this situation for good reason. I can understand why this has been the scenario that's played out, because Cucurella had an injury, or injured spell, I should say, sort of around, was it that, maybe like the Burnley away game last season, around that time. But for the most part, he was fit and available, came back in against Fulham away. I was at that match. He played right back at that in that game, and he played really, really well. And I just think that it disturbs the peace a little bit. And I think that when you look in the pecking order, I think that Cucurella's first choice at left back. And unfortunately, you know, we can't live in the past, and time does change. And I'd say that Malo Gusto out of position at left back's probably second choice now, ahead of Ben Chilwell. I was quite disappointed with Ben Chilwell's performances when he came back, and you could put that down to the fact that he wasn't given a run in the team, and he's been injury prone and whatnot. But I don't know. I don't know whether we'll ever see him in a Chelsea shirt again. I don't think we will. It's a shame. One of the last survivors from that Champions League winning side, along with Reece James, and I suppose only on the books Kepa are the only ones that are still survivors from that side. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame what's happened to Chile, man. Nice surprise to see you doing a live chat. Sorry, I'm just scrolling up a little bit. Sanchez should be a lesson on signing Brighton's bench players. Yes. Adam, very well put. Very well put. Who would you want to buy with the worry about PSR? I don't even know. I don't even know at this point in time. Because I don't feel like we're back in the days where we're going and looking at, you know, spending names on Galacticos. And are there that many in football now? I think, like, with what Pep Guardiola's done at Manchester City and whatnot, football has become more of a system-based game, and you haven't got those sort of Galactico players anymore, you know? So I don't know. I don't know. Do you know what's funny, though, right? Answer me in the chat for this one, right? Answer me in the chat. John Duran has just gone to Al Nassr, yeah? So, I don't know when Ronaldo's contract runs out. Who would have Ronaldo in the number 9 for Chelsea? Am I mental to say that? I think I'd have him in the number 9 for Chelsea. Maybe even ahead of Nicholas Jackson. Will I watch a Super Bowl? Nah, I'm not into it. I'm not into all that. You can tell us, bro. We won't tell. Won't tell what? Chilwell potentially leaving us with one recognised left back is unbelievable. Yep, I know. But, you know, Malo Gusto can play at left back. Levi Colwell, when it's a back three, sort of moves over there. Trevor Chalobah can play wherever. But I do get the concern. I do get the concern. Yeah. Kevin Reyes. Good afternoon, Joey. Hope you're well. Do you think we will follow in the trend of signing someone biggish on the last day of the transfer window? I can't say that I think we will. You know. I think most of our spending might actually be done. And obviously, look, this transfer window, we haven't even really bought anyone in. Bought a few back off of loans. I can never say his name, Anselmino or whatever his name is. But yeah, I don't know. Afternoon, Joey. We need a win on Monday, or getting top 4 is looking harder each week. I'd agree with you. We really, really need a win on Monday. The good news is I believe we will get a win on Monday. Right, we've got 100 viewers, as I'm counting, in the live stream right now. So everyone, please share it, smash the like button on it, all that sort of stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I'm going to carry on reading out any questions. If I miss yours, just put them back in again and I'll get to them, or super chat them and I'll get to then they stay up on the screen. But if not, just put them back in and I'll get to them. Right. NFC, are you on about Newcastle? At top 5 leaves us max at top 6. Well, I don't know. Let's see. Let's not overdo it. I go to some Chelsea games, but going to my first away game against Brighton, I'm looking forward to it. I've not been to the Amex. Drove past it. I took my daughter to see, was it SeaWorld or Sea Life in Brighton? And then I was like driving down a hill, and I was like, that's the Amex. And I was like, that's the weirdest place to have a stadium, because it's just in the middle of a big field. Like, it's not even near the town. Like, you come out of, like, Brighton, like, up the hill, and then you go down, and it's just, like, some big stadium just in the middle of, like, a field. And it doesn't look like there's any, like, train line near or anything. So that road, and it is, like, country lanes as well. It's weird. It was weird. When I'm bringing in Josh, I don't know when I'm bringing in Josh. Me and Josh are dropping a podcast on Joey and Josh tomorrow on that Netflix documentary, Don't Die. That should be a good one. That should be pretty good. Basically, we're just taking a piss out of the people on it. Need to get Jan from Football Therapy on Sunday, Joey. Yeah, I will. I'll try and do something with Jan. We speak a little bit, me and Jan, every now and again. Not as much. I speak to, out of like them Chelsea lot, I see Matisse every now and again, like things. We done a podcast together the other day for someone else's platform, James Alcott. Who else? Obviously, I see the Chelsea Fan TV lot of the matches. George, if he comes to the country, I'll meet up and do podcasts with him. And obviously, we done a podcast the other day. If you haven't seen that already, that's out on my channel now. One upload down or something. It's my second to last upload. I've uploaded the West Ham preview today, so obviously check that out. That's me and Josh. Yeah. But yeah, Jan, I'll get him on at some point. Yeah, it's just making things work, you know. It's just making things work. Everton are 2 up already. There you go. Moisa. Here we go. Let me have a look. Jake Reeve. Love from America, mate. In the States over here, none of my friends share the same love for football as I do, so watching your videos is like chatting with my mates about the game each week. Appreciate you. Thank you very much, Jake. Appreciate that, bro. Yeah, I get a lot of people saying that. Well, not saying that exact thing, but saying, like, you know, feels like speaking with pals and watching, you know, chatting in the pub with mates and stuff like that. And that's probably, if you had have asked me at the beginning of starting a podcast or starting my channel, I should say, what I want, that would have probably been my ideal scenario of what sort of experience that I want people to get from my channel. Like, I don't want to be fucking TalkSport or Sky Sports News or anything like that. I want to have a community on this channel that feel like, you know, they are like that, just a bunch of mates that talk and whatnot. So, yeah. Ooh, just here for the accent and the good looks. Thank you very much. Someone commented, right, on one of my videos recently. Well, I say recent, last couple of months. Someone commented on one of my videos saying, bro, I like your content, but can you please stop forcing the accent? And I'm like, what are you going on? Accent? Like, what are you going on about? Forcing the accent? Like, one, every person, geographically, depending on where they live, will have some sort of accent, yeah? And forcing the accent, I'd get it if, like, say, like, for example, yeah, I was from, I'm living in South London, and, like, I was, like, talking like a Cockney like that, or something like that, and they're like, yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Like, Joey, fucking stop forcing the accent like that. I just talk like a normal person. Do you know what I mean? Like, from where I'm from. Like, there's no accent to be forced, so I never understood that common. And also, how would you know whether I am or whether I'm not if you never watched me before YouTube? Because I just talk in my normal voice, but God knows. God knows. I used to get interviewed for boxing like 10 years ago. Go and listen to me. I sound the fucking same. Maybe just a little bit more punch drunk now. I've had years of getting punched in the face. Mikhailo Mudryk was the glue. Maybe. Joey, my man, will you be fighting anytime soon? And would it be local to Epsom, as I'm from that area? Daddy Kel. I am fighting soon, yeah. And it's not local to Epsom, I'm afraid. It's going to be a few hours drive away from Epsom. Yeah, I don't know how much I can say. But basically, what it is I have struggled big time to get a fight since my last one. And you wouldn't think it, because I was coming off the back of losing a fight, right? I had a 3-minute round fight against Little Cray Cray, who again, like I always say when we talk about misfits, listen, might be influencer boxing, but I'm not boxing at influencer level, yeah? We've got the tournament that I was in, got won by a guy that beat me in the fight before, and he won the Golden Gloves. In the final, he fought another guy that had won Golden Gloves. In one of the semi-finals, the guy that pulled out had won Golden Gloves. Do you know what I mean? And to win the Golden Gloves, you ain't no mug. You're a good boxer if you've won the Golden Gloves, yeah? I myself went into that fight 12 fights, 12 wins, and on a 2-fight knockout streak, right? So it's not, yeah, it's influencer boxing, i.e. the platform, but the level is good, right? And since that fight, I don't know how many opponents they've offered it to that have turned it down, but a lot. Dean the Great turned down a fight with me. You know, the Argentinian King was saying he wanted to fight me, but then that didn't get made. Dave Fogarty was saying he wanted to fight me, but then that didn't get made. And I was just left out in the dark, really. I was the head of the Who Needs Him club. No one would fight. And then a name got sent over to me the other night, and I was like, hold on, I know that name. And then I realised upon looking that it's a big name. It's someone that I can't say too much, so I don't want to give it away. But maybe he's not necessarily a boxer, but he's not far off one. Do you know what I mean? And the combat that he competed in, he was in his world level in. So it'd be a fairly big name, and it'd be a big fight. And I won't say where it is, but I'm travelling long away from where I live to fight him in his back garden. I think I'll probably be a betting underdog with the bookmakers as well. So it's something that I relish. It's something that I'm going to be able to get my teeth sunk into. So yeah, man. Touch wood. Let's fucking hope that nothing goes wrong and it happens. Let's see. Fenerbahce want Ronaldo. Yeah. I don't know. I hadn't even seen that. Howson from Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth. Howson from Bournemouth's a very, very good player. Very good player. Who should we have kept from the last 2 years that we sold or contracts expired? Rudiger, if that falls into the last 2 years, which I don't believe it does, but that's the main one. When I think of like contracts expiring that went for free, Rudiger was one 100%. Kept in terms of players that we've sold, I think that, I mean, N'Golo Kante in the Premier League could never really stay fit, could he? But then he stayed pretty fit in the Saudi Pro League, and he looked good for France in the Euros. So, you know, Kante, despite the age. I'll never say a bad word about him. Who else should we have kept? Can't think of too many. Ruben Loftus-Cheek was always a player that I liked. So definitely one there, maybe Ruben Loftus-Cheek. But a lot of these ones might have been squad players, rotation players and whatnot. So, yeah, let's see. Joey, do you honestly believe we'll beat West Ham? Yeah, I do believe we'll beat West Ham. I always believe, though, that we're going to beat every team, to be honest. I'm not the only one who's only hearing Joey in their left ear, right? Only left. Yeah, a few people have said this. I don't know how to sort this. Like, you shouldn't only be hearing me in your left. Let me see. Does this change anything? Can you now hear me in both? I don't know, man. I really don't know why some people are saying they can only hear me in their left ear. But most people play it out the speakers, so heading to the bridge for the Man United match in May. What are some of the match day pubs? I normally go to the Butcher's Hook across the road from the ground where the old mega store used to be. I'm doing a semester abroad in England from the US. Which city would you recommend is most welcoming? Most welcoming, probably Newcastle. I'm going up to Newcastle next weekend. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. I'm going up to Newcastle. Love your video with George. Newcastle's very welcoming. The people up in Newcastle are very, very nice. I like everyone from. I've always got on with Geordies. I always got on with people from Newcastle. Yeah. Big love from Barbados. I'd love to go to Barbados as well, man. After this fight in April, whenever it is. After this fight, I want a nice break away, but we got so much work on, like with the Saudis and stuff like that. I don't know what we're going to be doing, where we're going to be going. So I don't know if I'm going to get a break or how much of a break I'm going to get and whatnot. So who knows? Sorry, I'm just he's reading but delayed a lot. Sorry, I'll try and get to the chat. Just post them back in if I miss your messages and whatnot. And yeah, if not, you can super chat them and then they come to the top. Even you can do it. I think the super chat's like a dollar or something like that, and it comes to the top. But I don't know. Right, my boy Joey, thank you, mate. I assume he's married. Who are you on about? Are you on about me? I'm not married. Big up Joey. Oh, Josh. On a scale of 1 to 10, rank Josh's ability to pull birds. Josh ain't married either, but yeah, Josh is a bit of a smooth criminal, I reckon. He's happy in his love life, but yeah, he's a bit of a shagger, a bit of a smooth criminal. Joey, I'm off to Thailand on Monday. One spot you'd recommend: go to Koh Phangan and stay at Cozy Bungalows in Dong Sala, Bantai. That is what I used to like. But I used to like it chilled out rather than too much of like a party vibe or whatnot. If you want to party, go to Koh PP. Absolutely loved it. Watch the podcast on Joey and Josh when we talk about travelling. And I spoke about, me going to Thailand, getting in trouble out in Thailand, getting arrested out in Thailand, all that shit. Yeah, I don't know. Speaking of the pub, when we going for beers, mate, Dan and Ted here watching as always. Oh, Dan, yes, Dan! What's happening? Mate, soon, I'm on it. I'm not drinking at this moment in time because I've got this fight coming up and it's a big one. It's a tough fight. So, and I haven't really been drinking. Like, I've had a few drinks when I've gone up to the bridge and gone to Chelsea games, but for the most part I've been trying to not drink on the head. Well, I've not been trying. I haven't been drinking at all really. But yeah, we'll definitely catch up soon, mate. Big love to you, Ted, and the family. I hope you're all good, mate. Hope you're all good. Fuck's sake, I've lost where I was in the chat. Where are we? Right. No one besides the Saudi Pro League will pay Ronaldo more, and he wants 1,000 goals, so possible. What will pay Ronaldo more than we would pay him? I don't think we'd pay him all that much. We're trying to lower the wage cap and whatnot. So if we're on about us, I don't know. MMA question mark. Not specifically MMA. More kickboxing. If you're on about in terms of my opponent, yeah. Joey, just on the Joey and Josh pod, absolutely love it. And I got my brothers and the boys on it. Now, an idea for a future episode, I was thinking, was the Zodiac Killer or the Catcher of Gaddafi. Yeah, the Zodiac Killer's an interesting one. I think what we're trying to do is, with some of the true crime ones, we're trying to actually do some of the, not more niche, but like not some of the more obvious subjects straight away. Like, yes, we could obviously do one on the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. Yes, we could do one on Ian Huntley. Yes, we could do a true crime one on some of these real notorious true crime cases. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I want to try and bring something to the table that others haven't covered, as much on YouTube, so that we can stand out. Am I fighting Conor McGregor? No, I'm not fighting Conor McGregor. I'm definitely not fighting Conor McGregor. No one that big, but he is guy I'm fighting has won world titles. That's all I can say. I can't say much more. But listen, I've took a fight that a lot of people wouldn't want to take, in my opinion. Right. Cool. Can you hear that? Someone driving past on like a motorbike or something. Video idea for Joey and Josh. Look into the Rana Plaza disaster. Never heard of it, but a ridiculous amount of casualties due to negligence. Okay, yep. Do I play FPL? Nope. Joey, you on Sky or TalkSport, every other word would be bleeped out. Yeah, I know, yeah. No, I've never had the call for any of like the Sky or TalkSport stuff. I've done work for... What have I done work for? I've done work for TNT, which was at the time BT Sports, I think. But yeah, I've done stuff for TNT, Spotify. I done the other day. But yeah, haven't had. I have had Sky. Actually, they asked me to do something. So Sky Sports Premier League, which I believe is the YouTube channel, asked me to do something. They asked me at short notice, and without going into things too much, all I'll say is sometimes the bigger companies will... I don't know. They'll try and use the fact that they're a big company to not like... to think that you just do everything for free for people and stuff. And it's like sometimes the smaller the company is, the more likely they are to offer you a fair price for things and, cover certain things that need to be covered and whatnot. Whereas sometimes you'll have the bigger ones contact you. And I will give you one example, like EA Sports, when they launched the new FIFA, which is not even called FIFA, asked me to do something up at Stamford Bridge. They wanted me to go up to Stamford Bridge, do this thing for them, whatever. And it was sent to do with Eden Hazard. And I said, okay, yeah, like, what's the fee? They said, oh, no, there's no fee. And it was for the opening match of the season, Chelsea-Man City. And I was like, okay, what, so you want me to come there and do it for free? And they're like, yeah, well, like, it boosts your profile and all that. And I'm like... So then I was like, do you know what? I thought, shouldn't be stubborn or whatever. So I said, all right. I said, sort me out with 2 hospitality tickets, like one for me and one for a pal. and I'll come up and I'll do an hour like with you before the game. Nah, sorry, we can't sort you out of any tickets. And it's just like, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Like, no. Like, you get companies that are massive, massive global brands like that, and they don't even want to. And then you get smaller companies that a lot of people haven't heard of that will pay what is fair and the going rate and stuff like that. So nah. IG, I'm a smooth criminal, innit? What? I don't know. Everyone ask him to sing for us. No, I'm not singing. The best YouTube singer, I'll not go away before he sings. I'm not the best YouTube singer. There must be better. Mate, never knew that happened to you out there, mad shit, bro. Yeah. All good, bro. Get the fights done. We'll sort something out. Ted loved the shout out. Big up, Ted. Nice one, mate. Hope you're doing well. Ted must be what, year 9 at school now? Year 8, maybe. Year 9. Yeah. Bloody hell. Time flies, eh? Time flies. Hope he's doing well, mate. Not going to read out the last bit. Who's your favourite Chelsea player pre-Roman Abramovich? Between Zola and Wise for me. Zola, it would have been. It would have been pre-Roman Abramovich. But Idegger Johnson was signed before Roman Abramovich, and I used to love Idegger Johnson. Love Idegger Johnson. So that might be one of my answers. Dan Petrescu. Carlo Cudicini was signed before Roman Abramovich, and before Peter Cech came, Carlo Cudicini was one of my favourite players. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, obviously. But yeah, Dennis Wise, definitely one. Right, okay. Is Mudryk back? No, I don't know why people keep asking this. You should do a video with Matisse. That would be the best video ever. I have done videos with Matisse. I've done like 2 or 3 studio sessions with Matisse, and I literally did a video with Matisse last week that is on Spotify on the James Lawrence Alcott Spotify. So yeah, that's on there. Someone below saying they loved it. No, Mudryk's not back as far as I know. Everyone's spamming the chat about Mudryk. I don't think he is. He's fighting Wayne Bridge. I'm not fighting Wayne Bridge. No, I'm fighting a fighter, a legit fighter who's had over 100 professional bouts. So yeah, big fight. Contracts haven't been signed yet, but I've heard he's accepted. I accepted as soon as I was offered the fight. So yeah, man. Yeah, looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fucking good one. Can't wait for that. Right. Let's get these chats coming in, people, and I will get back to as many of you as I can. Let's have a quick look at the scores, by the way. I want to have a quick look at the scores. Live score. Let's see. So, firstly, ridiculous that Nottingham Forest can come back off the back of being pumped by Bournemouth and respond by a 7-0 win against Brighton, who, let's be honest, I don't really like Brighton all that much, but they're no mugs, are they? You know what I mean? Liverpool won up against Bournemouth. Don't know who scored it. Let's guess. Let's not go with the obvious. Let's go... I honestly don't know. Let's go with... I mean, he played in the week, so I don't want to say him. I was about to say Harvey Elliott. Let's go Luis Diaz. No, Salah, obvious. Knew it was going to be Salah, but let's see what else we got on here. I will come back to the chat ever so shortly. Everton 2 up. Now, I'll be interested to see the Everton lineup because I haven't looked at it, right? I wonder whether Brower is starting for Everton. No, he's not. Decore and Pickford with the assist. Does Brower even make the bench? No, he's injured. He's injured for Everton. No wonder they want to send him back. How bad is that for Everton? And I'll tell you what, Leicester look like they're going down as well. Ipswich won, Southampton won. Ipswich really, really need to win that match, to be honest, if they're to have any chance of pulling away. And you know, now Everton have got Moisey back there. I don't see them being in the relegation battle. Still 0-0 between Newcastle and Fulham. And obviously Wolves and Aston Villa is the late kickoff. So, yeah, right. Down to the bottom. Let's have a little look. Dude, I watch all your videos. Can you answer me question? Do I watch WWE? No, I don't watch WWE, no. I used to back in the day, though, when I was a kid. And my favourite wrestlers were Jeff Hardy and Shawn Michaels. And I've always thought Shawn Michaels' walkout tune was an absolute banger. I'd like to walk out to it for a fight. Do you like Eurovision? No. Charlie Mahoney, CFC, I don't really like. Well, I don't dislike it, but I don't like it. Eurovision's not something that I really watch. Do you see Chelsea season to the end? Joey, how do you see Chelsea season to the end? Sorry. I think we'll finish fourth. I think that we'll... Yeah. I bet Joey can sing some Prison Time blues, lol. Any plans for live streams on deadline day or just sticking to the match day live streams? Also, if you could bring one player from the past to help us finish off this season, who would it be? One player to help us finish off this season. Right. Don't get annoyed at me here. Do not get annoyed at me. I am going to go Diego Costa. And when I'm going with a number 9 option, you're going to go, hold on, how come he's going Costa over Drogba? We're not going to be in as many cup finals. We're definitely not going to be in as many cup finals this season as obviously, you know, we were in times gone by. And Drogba was the man for the big occasions. I rate Drogba more highly than I rate Diego Costa. But in terms of guaranteed Premier League goals per season, Diego Costa would guarantee those goals, wouldn't he? So that's what we need, I feel, up front is Diego Costa. Yeah, so that'd be the one that I'd bring back for this season. Sorry, in terms of plans on a live stream for deadline day, probably not. I'm really busy. I'm going to be doing a live stream the night before. I'll probably be prepping on deadline day for the podcast with Josh that will drop the following day. We're going to do we're going to do a podcast. We're going to do obviously a usual Chelsea one. Might do a match preview. If there's any big news on deadline day, might react to that, but I don't think there's going to be. And also we're doing one for Joey and Josh, and we are going to do I don't know how we'll title this, but basically our worst people on the internet. So you lot can get me in some suggestions of your worst people on the internet. The first person that springs to mind for me is that cycling Mikey guy who goes along and catches people on their phone in standstill traffic. He's an absolute wanker, so he's going to be in there. Who wins? Fury versus Joshua. Tyson Fury wins that fight for me. Tino, I've caught the one and only Joey Knight from the Joey Knight podcast channel. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, I believe probably I would go as far to say Joey Knight is the best guest on the Joey Knight podcast. Finish fourth with no midfield depth. Well, I mean, you're saying that at a minute, but if Caicedo and Enzo are to stay, it's how you look at stuff, you know? Hypothetical scenarios. If Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez are to stay fit and available, then, you know, them two with, let's say, for example, Kane Chukwuemeka doesn't go out on loan and we start to use him a little bit more. You just never know. You just never know what could be happening. There could be deals that we don't know about necessarily, because normally it will be leaked by one club or another. So we could be in the process of recalling an Andre Santos for all we know, but actually what we're doing is we're dealing with Strasbourg and we're saying, look, we're going to give you Kane Chukwuemeka until the end of the season. So I really do think that it's hard to answer that question until until the transfer window closes. And also Romeo Lavia. I hope we don't have another Reece James scenario on our hands, but it's hard to tell at this moment in time. Chelsea spending big on the women's team with Germa and Walsh, which is great. But where's the big signings for the men's team? Proper chicken oriental. I don't really know. Do you know what? I don't. Apart from knowing that Lauren James is in there, and there's a girl called Sam Kerr, I think, that plays for Chelsea women's team. I don't know much. I don't know much about the women's team. And I've had people try and dig me out before and go like, "Oh, funny how you never cover the Chelsea women's team," and it's like, well, not really, no, because I also don't cover MMA, but I cover boxing. Two different sports. Do you know what I mean? Like, two different sports. One of them I watch religiously, and one of them I don't. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a solid shout. Costa was ruthless and a bully that just gets the whole game going and fighting as well. Plus, the man bagged goals. Great shout. Yeah, Costa was a good one. Jack Doherty is a prat. Who's Jack Doherty? Jack Doherty. Who is that? I feel like I should know that name. Jack Doherty, I don't know how he's rich. Jack Doherty, that little weasel fella, the little American kid that tries. Oh, mate. If he tried doing that to me, bang, one of them right across the jaw, crack. Out for the count. Good night. Security guard comes in. Bang! He's gone too. What a little weasel he is, yeah. Goes up to people and pushes them and then lets his security jump in the front. Jack Doherty, that's who that is. Yeah, that guy's a little weasel. He's an idiot. He could be on there. He should be on there. He should be on that list, actually, yeah. Good shout. I might have him on there. At the beginning of the season, we had depth, but loaned two of them. Yep, very true. Are you fighting soon? Yep, considerably soon. Within the next, 60-odd days, maybe? 60, 70 days, something like that. So, yeah, not imminent, but yeah, soon. I'm fighting on one of the next Misfit shows. So, I'm back from a loss, back from some bad injuries that I'll speak about after the fight, and diving straight back in at the deep end to a very dangerous fight, which gets me horny. I didn't want to come back in and fight some shitter that no one knows and whatever, or hasn't done much, so I'm getting in, I'm fighting someone with 10 times the experience that I've had in combat sport. So yeah, looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fucking good one, man. Tino, just wanted to say that I really appreciate your videos. I work as a lorry driver, and listening to you and Josh brings a smile to my face, especially with the conversations. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah, you must be banging to your podcasts thing, because obviously lorry driving, you're probably doing 9 hours behind the wheel and stuff like that all day. So as much as you can listen to music, it comes a point where after a while you want to start listening to podcasts and stuff like that. I know when I'm driving my car, sometimes if I'm going gym and that, I'll have the radio on, or I'll have like music on and whatever. But if I'm just doing like your standard drives and that, I listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff like that. But not really football specific. I listen to a lot of true crime stuff and yeah, loads of different ones. Good night from Toronto. You have a new admirer, fan. Thank you very much. Shout out Toronto. Tino, also, big up Lenny Pidgley. Yeah, big up Lenny Pidgley. He follows me on Instagram. Well, we follow each other on Instagram. Yes, but they won't want to bring back players because of the development, and Caicedo and Enzo won't last playing every game. Yeah, they won't last playing every game, and there needs to be points in games when not only can our front line be rejuvenated, our midfield needs to be. Now, our front line actually can be, because if we are to keep hold of the likes of João Felix, and we are to keep, which we probably will, by the way, now that it looks like Aston Villa are going to get the Rashford deal done, and if we are to keep hold of the likes of Nkunku, whether or not you want to use them, Mark Yu, prime example, we can add to that front line and rejuvenate that front line. However, the midfield, not so much. Who are you bringing on? Kiernan Dewsbury Hall? Vega could sort of play in the midfield, but now he's gone out to Juve, so it's a hard one. It's a real hard one. Joey round 1 KO. I don't know. I think this guy's going to be very, very tough. Very tough. Can you confirm if it's Misfits 21 or 22? No, I can't confirm. I can't confirm because I don't know myself. Thoughts on Dean the Great versus Pulley RF2 on Aiden Ross's Brown Risk show tonight on Kick. I think Dean probably thinks that Pulley's an easier fight than it is. You know, we know that Dean only wants easy fights, and I don't mean any disrespect to Pulley there. I don't think Pulley is an easy fight. I think that Pulley will put up a good fight. I was speaking to Pulley the other day, and I said, listen, you got to remember, man, like, you're on a run now. You're on a good run of form. He's had like 3-4 wins since fighting Dean. He's been fighting a little bit more regular recently. Some people felt he deserves to get the win or the nod over the Argentinian king. So I think Pulley's good, and he's got a good trainer in Coach Saul and whatnot, training with the likes of Fox G and them boys. But yeah, Dean's a shithouse, man. Dean got offered a lot of money to fight me in Qatar and turned it down. And I was willing to fly out there on 1 day's notice, literally, as in like 1 day until I needed to get on a flight. I was willing to fly out there on a day's notice, unbox Dean, I'll be honest, injured, yeah? And straight away, you didn't even need to ask me twice. I said yes, straight away. As soon as I said it, yep, fine. Dean turned it down. He's a bitch. He denied it. He made out he didn't turn it down. He fucking did turn it down. And then Mams confirmed it on Twitter anyway. So the moral of the story is, don't lie when... If I say something, and I say it in my chest, and I say turn down a fight at me, my word's golden, mate. I don't lie about stuff on the internet. And there you go. But Dean against Pulley... I don't know. I think that Pulley showed in his first fight with Dean, which I believe was only his first ever boxing match, whereas Dean had a lot more experience than him, that he can frustrate Dean. And I think that Dean can be a bit one-dimensional. He looks for that right-hand pullback counter. If Pulley can evade that and he can frustrate him, I think he can make an awkward night's work of it, take it to the scorecards, and then who knows what can happen. Who knows what can happen. Just whack Kukurea into the midfield. He can play anywhere on a pitch. Yeah, I'd agree with you. I'm a Liverpool supporter, but your podcast and work with Josh is very enjoyable. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that, mate. Costa was a scary mofo. Defenders would be scared of him. They definitely would be. By the way, when I'm in London, let's have a drink and talk about Chelsea. I'm trying not to drink at the moment, mate. I'm trying not to drink. Well, I'm not. I always say I'm trying. I make it sound like I'm fucking alcoholic. I'm not drinking at the moment. Taking boxing very, very serious this year, so I'm not going to be drinking. I don't know if you've already said, but will this next fight be the same amount of rounds or more? I hope for it to be a 5-rounder, the same as against Cray Cray. I believe I'm a 10-round fighter, mate. I believe I get better as the rounds go on. I think that I've been guilty of maybe starting a little bit slow in the past, you know? And people look at my Misfits career. This is the thing, like, it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. Like, it's a bad thing in the way of people only know me for, like, these 3 fights against Most Wanted, Baby Hulk, and Little Cray Cray. And it's like, mate, like, Little Cray Cray, yeah, he's up there, but the other 2 aren't even up there with the best people I've fought. Like, I've fought 5 or 6 people better than Baby Hulk and Most Wanted. Like, you know what I mean? I've had 13 fights. Little Cray Cray's not even the best person I've ever fought. He was a southpaw. He's the second best person I've ever fought. But the reason that the best person I ever fought I had a win over, and the second best person I ever fought I lost to, is purely for me because the fact he was a southpaw, and it made it a lot more of a tricky assignment. So even Little Cray Cray's not the best person I've ever fought. People that know me, if anyone knows me and, you know, knew me before YouTube and TikTok and all that blew up, they would have seen me on the unlicensed scene where I fought some very, very good boys. So yeah, I believe I'm more suited to fighting longer duration of fights. I believe that I've been guilty in the past of starting a little bit slow, and trying to download a little bit too much information on my opponent and work them out before I really get into my groove of things. And I think that my lesson that I've learnt from the Little Cray Cray fight is, yeah, don't go into anything that you're not at 100%, and make sure that you start fast, and you're able to start fast and maintain that pace because you can, yeah, you can spend a long time trying to work people out and whatnot, and fuck knows, don't know. Who are some opponents you think would be good to be the replacement for KSI on March the 29th? I think Mike Perry would be a good fight for KSI. Couple of like the former UFC fighters, Donald Cerrone, people like that. Like, I think it needs to be a big name but a beatable name at the same time, is what I'm trying to say with KSI. Because remember, KSI hasn't got that much experience. Like, he's not like a Jake Paul that's dedicated his life to boxing. Jake Paul's main source of income will be boxing, do you know what I mean? And he's very good for someone that started only 5 years ago and whatnot, and he's done well, dedicated himself to it, whereas KSI is doing music and all sorts, and Prime and loads of different bits and pieces, so he hasn't dedicated his life to it in the same way that Jake Paul has. So I think that KSI needs to find the balance of getting a big name for his next fight, but maybe not someone that's a devastating boxer, like a real good boxer. So yeah, I don't know. Shane's fighting today, bro. If you didn't know, Shane Minter. I didn't know, no, but yeah, big up Shane. Hopefully he wins. Big up the hardcore. Thank you. What do you think about Vlahovic in the summer? I personally believe he is what we lack. I don't know. I remember when Vlahovic was young. I mean, he's still only 24, 25 years old now, but when he was like 21, I remember thinking, oh, this guy at Fiorentina, I thought he's going to be the bollocks, man. He's going to be a Haaland and, someone in that mould. And it hasn't kicked on for him the way that you would have hoped it would have. I'm not sure on Vlahovic. I mean, he's got a great free kick, hasn't he? He's got a very good free kick, so yeah, I don't know about Vlahovic. It's hard because with that style of like sort of strong, thick set striker number 9, sometimes it works for us and sometimes it doesn't. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Diego Costa, Didier Drogba, yeah, they worked. But Alvaro Morata didn't, Lukaku didn't. So it's very hard to tell until they get to Stamford Bridge. I don't really follow boxing, but I'll keep an eye out for your fight. Knock him out. I'll try to, mate. I'll try to. I want to win myself a nice little knockout bonus. I won't say little. Nice knockout bonus. That would be great, man. How many fights do you think it will take to get a shot against Cray Cray or whoever will inevitably have the belt? Who knows? If I had to put a realistic number on it, I'd say 2. I'd say maybe even 1, Listen, when I pull off the win against this next guy, and I do it in the fashion I believe I do it in, which people will be able to see so much more of my game, Because the people that have only watched me on Misfits have only seen me have a little play around with Most Wanted, and I don't mean that with disrespect. It sounds disrespectful, but I'm only being honest with you. In my heart of hearts, that is what I did. I carried him for a little bit, had a bit of a play around with him, had done a few slick little moves and whatnot, and then when my coach told me to, I started sitting down on my shots and got him out of there. Baby Hulk, he rushed me from the start, which means that if you're going to come and try and fight me, I'm going to have to fight you back. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to have a boxing match with you. I'm going to have to fight you back. And then when that happens, it could go late, it could go early, but it will go, and it will go in my favour. And in that fight, it went early against Baby Hulk, so people didn't get to see all that much of me. And then I went in there against Cray Cray, and obviously, one, it's always hard to fight a southpaw, but even more so, more so than just being difficult to fight southpaws, it's difficult to fight someone who is looking to sort of, nick the rounds against you, which I've got no problem with. If I could have won that way, then I would have won that way. Do you know what I mean? But it's very, very hard. So I didn't really, until like the 4th and 5th round, get to really put my shots together and show what I'm about. And against this next guy, there's no way that I'm gonna hit him and he's gonna fall over. Like fuck me, he's mixed at world level in his time in what he's done, and not been knocked out and dropped and stuff like that. So he's going to be durable. But I do honestly believe that I'll get a stoppage in that one. So let's see. Saw some news that Mudryk's back. Is he actually back? I've got no idea, mate. I don't think he is. Vlahovic gets slated by Juve fans. However, we do need a presence. Duran and Samu probably would have been ideal in the summer. Hindsight's 2020 though. The Misfits do a fight of the night bonus. Yeah, they do. They do a fighter of the night bonus. I've never won it. I won the knockout of the night when I knocked out Baby Hulk in Nashville. That was good. Would you recall Petrovic or Kepa? We're a joke of a club nowadays. I'd recall Petrovic. out of him and Kepa. Do you think we need a striker before the window closes? I don't think we need a striker in terms of like, say like if we needed one, then maybe I'd be like, fuck it, pay 5-6 mil to loan Evan Ferguson or whoever, like when we're getting linked to these random ones. So or you know, someone different. If an opportunity came up for us to sign an Osman and it wasn't going to be like, you know, the way it's been before with just the constant talk around it and it never come into fruition, or maybe a Sheshko or a Gorkarez, then yeah, I'd be up for it. But do I think that we need one in terms of like I'd be willing to drop the standard to get one just because it's an area we need to plug? Then no, I don't. And I've said this about Liam Delap once, and I'll say it about Liam Delap again, and I don't mean any offence. If Joe Shields and the recruitment team want to go for Liam Delap, then I'll back them and I'll trust their judgment in doing so. They've had success going with, you know, former Man City players and whatnot before, or ones that have come through the academy that some of the recruitment team that we have now had worked with before. However, if you sent Mark Yu out on loan to Ipswich and he had played 23 games from this season, I think he would have had a similar goal return to Liam Delap. That's all I'm saying. So have we got someone as good as Liam Delap on our books already? I think maybe. I think one of our biggest issues is discipline and attitude with the team. What's your take on it and how can we improve? I think we have improved a little bit in terms of attitude. So say, for example, Nicholas Jackson's a prime example. He was getting a lot of silly bookings last season for talking back to the referee and stuff like that. And we haven't had that so much this season. I know Cucurella ended up getting a red card after the final whistle. I believe it was against Wolves, maybe. So we have had ones with like discipline problems, but I don't class like, you know, bookings in games for like tactical fouls and things like that. I don't really class that as a discipline problem. I class that as being something that maybe is a necessity in terms of what we've actually got, experience and quality wise. I class discipline problems more as like when we're getting booked for stuff like kicking the ball away, talking back to the referee, stuff like that. So I think that, yeah, there's a little bit of a problem there, but I think we've improved on it from last season. So that's what I would say. Why does he not play in Nkunku? Just because he plays Cole Palmer there instead, really, and that's the only attacking midfield's the only real position that I think Nkunku fits. I think Nkunku's fallen out of love with Chelsea. And I think that some Chelsea fans are falling out of love with Nkunku, to be honest. So it is what it is. Right, hold on. Yo, we need Brian commentating your next fight too. Great vibes last time out in Newcastle when he was on comms and introducing you. Yeah, Brian will be there in some capacity, whether he ring walks to me, whether he's in my corner on the night or something. I don't know whether he'll commentate on the fight or not. Obviously, he was pretty biased on the... Not biased, but he was pretty invested, I'd say, in me when I was fighting Little Cray Cray. So, obviously, he come in for stick for that. Not that he gives a fuck, do you know what I mean? But I can see it. Like, look, Like I can sit here and feel sorry for myself that that Little Cray Cray fight went the way it did, because I believed that Little Cray Cray was going to come and have a fight. He went and had a fight with Yuddy, he had a fight with Ace Musa, you know, stood in the pocket and banged, and I thought, okay, cool, let's see who's better, let's see who can stand and trade and come out on top. And that was kind of what I prepared for. With the southpaws that I was getting in for sparring, I was preparing for someone that was going to come and walk forward and really walk into the line of fire, and Cray Cray didn't do that. And it took me a couple of rounds to sort of figure out that he wasn't going to do that. I thought, maybe he's trying to stay level with me, and then we're going to both sprint towards the finish line, and when we do, I'm going to come on strong, and whatnot. So it was frustrating for me, and it was frustrating for Brian watching it. So maybe for this one, he wouldn't be on the commentary, but he'll be there with me. He'll probably be in my corner, might ring up me, something like that. Forest big win, Newcastle ahead. It's only Bournemouth struggling against Liverpool. Besides that, we need a big win versus West Ham on Monday night. 100%. 100%. If you were given the task to build a spine in our side, Joey, which players would you like to get? I'd like to go and get a good goalkeeper. Good, solid goalkeeper. Who would that be? I don't know, man. I mean, I liked Petrovic. I already liked Petrovic when he was playing for us. But spine-wise, going through the team, I think at the minute, with what we've got, like, let's not even talk about signings. Let's look at what we've got. I believe that the likes of, you know, Levi Colwell and Trevor Chalobah are two very, very good Premier League defenders. I believe they're defenders that are, you know, with the right coaching can get you into a top four. And I believe that with a good goalkeeper behind them, that brings solidity in the defence. Then midfield, Caicedo, Lavia, Enzo, if they're all fit, that speaks for itself. Then up top, Nicholas Jackson. I believe that maybe we might need a little bit of reinforcement there, and that doesn't mean Nicholas Jackson can't play with him. It means that he can be moved out to the left a little bit. Greetings from South Africa. Yeah, South Africa, big up. I went to where did I go once? Cape Town, South Africa. Table Mountain. Well, not climbed up. We got a shuttle thing up there, but yeah. Would you take Sesko? Yeah, I'd take him, but depends. Hello from Cyprus. How are you? Yeah, good mate. Good mate. Where are you from in Cyprus? I was in Cyprus this year. I was in Paphos. My daughter has Cypriot in her. What is she? Quarter Cypriot? Well, quarter Turkish Cypriot, I think. When you win the title, please wear the belt on here. There you go. I will do. Thanks for answering my attitude question. The biggest issue with attitudes, the team is Noni, in my opinion. And when Estavio comes in, he needs to go because he is good, but his mindset isn't Chelsea. I don't know. I could potentially... yeah, I don't know. I'd agree with it, but I can see where you're coming from. Joey, would you ever go into coaching boxing or commentating? Well, I already commentate. We commentate on the fights for DAZN, didn't we? For the Riyadh season cards. We've done 6 of them now. 5, 6 of them. Got more of them lined up. So, already doing that. Commentating. In terms of coaching, that was my job before I did YouTube. I used to be a personal trainer, but not like a gym personal trainer. I was one that I was a PT that taught boxing, gave boxing sessions and lessons and stuff like that. And I did that for 5 years or so before YouTube took off. And then I kind of stopped. I was doing personal training and podcasting at the same time, and I was starting to make as much off podcasting, very early days, I was starting to make as much off podcasting as I was earning off personal training. But at the same time, I weren't making so much more off podcasting that it made personal training irrelevant. So I was really trying to balance the two. And I was definitely cutting myself too thin, to be honest. And then when I had my first Misfits fight booked, I got told about it in sort of mid-December, and the fight was going to be for late January. So I said to all my PT clients, I was like, look, I'm going to have this Misfits fight, so I'm going to have 5 weeks off of work to train for it, and then I'll come back the following week and whatnot. Like, just keep fit, and, you know, I'll be back training you after. And then life changed, and I never went back to work after that. Obviously, I got booked straight into the tournament, went and fought Baby Hulk out in Nashville within like 5 weeks of fighting Most Wanted. And yeah, life just changed. So I did used to do coaching of boxing, and no, I probably wouldn't get back into it because it's not well paid, and I like what I do now. Be honest, who starts, Sanchez or Jorgensen? Not who I want to start, who actually starts. Probably Sanchez, to be honest, but I really want Jorgensen to. Nicosia, okay, Nicosia, I know Nicosia. I used to love to go to Ayia Napa as a kid, so we used to fly into Larnaca. But where else is nice in Cyprus? Petaris is quite nice. Yeah. Hello, Joey from the USA. Tell Josh he's handsome. I will do. King of Kings, Joey, stop backing Colwell. No, Colwell's my boy. Do you see us finishing top 4 this season, even though we've dropped a lot of points against teams we should have beaten? Yeah, I do think another good run of form will get us top 4. I do think so. Yardie Gang put out a video with Cray Cray where they both leaked the Dean fight is happening on the KSI card. Thoughts on who wins? Yeah, I knew that the Dean fight was happening. So Dean got offered me, turned it down. Then he got offered a few people and turned it down. He'd already turned down Cray Cray, so he got offered me, Cray Cray, some guy called Joanne Ingram, who's like a top pro, and some other top pro, and he turned everyone down and whatnot, and then whatever, and then now he's accepted to fight Cray Cray. So yeah, I knew that anyway. But let's see how he gets on against Pulley Arif tonight. Because how does that one work out? If Pulley beats Dean tonight, what happens? Like, do you know what I mean? Because Dean's already signed a contract to fight Cray Cray. So does Dean still fight Cray Cray? Does Pulley step in there? Do they call the big dog and ask me to fight him? I'd do it. I'll be up for it. I'll take the fight. Watching from cold Finland. About to jump in the sauna. Yeah, it's cold here. Any hints for the next true crime video on your joint channel? I can tell you. I can just tell you what it is. We covered a case from Southport, right? Not the Southport thing that happened recently. A Southport thing that happened in the early 2000s. Well, late 90s, early 2000s. And it was a guy called Mitchell Quay. And basically, he killed his wife. And then he invited a camera crew into his house to do like a documentary on him. He went on GMTV or This Morning with Richard and Judy. Mental. He was like a psychopath killer who loved the limelight and then eventually gets caught. And we did a podcast on it, but we pull loads of clips from the documentary and whatnot and speak about the psychology of it. It's a really good one. Really good one. Here we go. We got the big man in. 2 questions. Who finishes higher, Chelsea or Newcastle? True Geordie in the chat. Big up Brian. Who finishes higher, Chelsea or Newcastle? It's hard, man. It's hard because Newcastle have got Isaac, and listen, he's no Chris Wood, but he's not far off. And obviously Newcastle are playing out their skin at the minute. By the way, I should have a quick check on the Newcastle score. What is it? 37 minutes I'm seeing. No, it can't be 37 minutes. Newcastle 1 up. I don't know who even scored, but it's slowing down the stream to do it. But Chelsea, I think, will finish higher. I think so. I hope so. Oh, yeah. I think. I don't know, man. I feel like the things I could say about Newcastle in terms of, like, say, for example, and obviously touch wood, this doesn't happen. Newcastle, I am a bit of an adopted Newcastle fan. But obviously I want Chelsea to finish higher. But what I'm saying is, with Newcastle, I could say, look, you know, if you go and get injuries to the likes of a Bruno, you know, Tonali, if he gets caught in Ladbrokes again, if there's so many players in that Newcastle side, Isaac being the main one, really. But I could say the same about Chelsea. If we got an injury to Caicedo, we're fucked. Absolutely fucked. So there you go. Right, and the second question from Brian is, if you could drag a boxing legend out of retirement for a Misfits fight, who would it be? Oh, a boxing legend out of retirement. It would need to be someone that hasn't retired too long ago, because I wouldn't want to go down the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson route. and it'd need to be someone who retired around my weight division. Let's go with. This makes me sound like a knob, and this could get clipped. I'd be confident I could chin him. Let's go with Amir Khan. Let's go with Amir Khan. If we could get a one, I'd go up for Amir Khan. I got to welterweight for him. 147 Amir Khan. I think I could chin him. I think Kell Brook will probably beat the shit out of me. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, Brian's getting a lot of love in the chat. Anyone else think Lamps is going to keep flying at Coventry and then get the Spurs job? I don't think Lampard would go to Spurs. I don't think Lampard would go to Spurs. Don't think he'd do it. But then, do you know what? A lot of West Ham fans probably thought he'd never go to Chelsea. But the West Ham-Chelsea rivalry is not all that. Like, it's not all that. It's like, I feel like people think it's more than it is because of the hooligan like element to it and whatnot. And obviously back in the sort of 70s and the 80s and whatnot, West Ham had a good firm and Chelsea had a good firm and all stuff like that, Millwall and whatnot. But the rivalry's not as much. I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. Oh God, I shouldn't say this. As a Chelsea fan, there's only one team that I really dislike, and that's Leeds. In terms of like really like, you know, we sing about hating Tottenham every match, but I don't really, like, do I hate Tottenham? I don't really care about Tottenham. They're never really in my vision. Do you know what I mean? They're never really, you know, I'm looking in the rearview mirror. And although I'd have to be looking miles in the rearview mirror for Leeds, Leeds is the only one. Because I went to a Leeds match once and they spat on us. So, yeah, don't like them. In terms of name value, entertainment, build-up, and how big of a fight it was, who would you rather fight for the belt, Cray Cray or Dean? Dean, 1,000,000%. If I had the opportunity, yeah, to fight Cray Cray for the belt or to fight Dean for a non-title, and they offered me less money, not considerably less, but like less money to fight Dean than to fight Cray Cray, I'd take the Dean fight because I'd actually want to render that little prick unconscious. Cray Cray, as much as like you're always going to have a bit of like resentment for someone who beat you, Cray Cray's a really nice guy, good fella, yeah, polite, courteous, nice bloke. You know, I don't think anyone that would meet little Cray Cray would have a bad word to say about him, and I think that he's very classy, and he's never said anything negative about me. He never spoke about me since our fight. You know, I've spoke plenty about him, but I've never said nothing really bad about him. But he's never really spoke about me since. Dean, the second I got beat, he didn't mention my name for months and months and months because he was shitting himself. Thought that there was a chance that I might end up fighting him. So he was probably shitting himself, yeah. I see him in Leeds and he shit himself as well. Didn't have that energy that he's got online. And all this stuff where he was like pushing Dave Fogarty and stuff like that. Fucking pushing Pulley Arif or putting his hands on Pulley Arif. He would not dare put his hands anywhere near me because he knows no matter how many people he's got with him, security and whatnot, entourage, he'd get one straight round the chops from me. So yeah, Dean's the one. He's not a classy person in my opinion. He's a little weasel, and I'd like to fight him over Cray Cray. Right. Our boy Lewis Hall's been cooking, yeah, and our old boy Tino Livramento as well. We've done Newcastle some good business. I'm trying to think of Chelsea players that went to Newcastle in the past, or vice versa. Obviously, Demba Ba came to Chelsea from Newcastle. Jeremy went to Newcastle from Chelsea, I believe, in about 2004, 2005. Trying to think of others that have gone in the opposite direction. Can't think of many off the top of my head, but there's probably some obvious ones that I'm not thinking of. But Demba Ba is the main one that comes to mind for me. What's the best way to get a channel going? I've studied combat sport for years and I just need a big break. How did you get your first start? Well, I'd say the first thing I'd say is consistency. Actually, regularly upload, and I'll give you something that Brian told me, right? And this is something that really helped me out. So, Brian, True Geordie, he said to me that whenever you're working on something, like a project, i.e. a video, a podcast you're putting out, you should make that your everything. You should put your all into it, and it should mean everything to you. And the second you hit upload on it, it should mean nothing to you. And I'm probably paraphrasing there. He probably said it in a better way than that. But the message he was saying is like, work your arse off on it, right? But then once you hit upload on it, disregard it and on to the next thing. Because if you sit there on it and you look at it and you go, oh my God, I spent all this time working on this and it hasn't accumulated the views that I hoped it would and stuff like that, then you get disheartened, and then it brings your morale down, and momentum is everything. So if you just keep the momentum and you don't let the views and the fact that it's hard to get your big break, like you said, then if you don't let that affect you, then yeah, I don't know. But yeah, in terms of big break, I don't know. I think what my big break in terms of like for the Chelsea channel would have been around the time of the Mauricio Pochettino appointment. I'd been going about 2-3 months, and I was covering a little bit of boxing, a little bit of football, other clubs as well as Chelsea. I'd get other fans on, speak to them, stuff like that, and then I did how Mauricio Pochettino could line up Chelsea, right, when he first got appointed, and it got like 60,000 views. And for my channel that was getting sometimes 1,000, sometimes a couple hundred or whatever, that was huge that it got that. So that was like my big break, and then I realised, right, okay, I need to zone in doing Chelsea content. And then obviously that was around June time that I put that video out. Then the real big break would be my first appearance on the Kickoff, which was August, second match day of the season. On the opening day when we played Liverpool, I was originally going to be on, but then Josh said, it's not happening. I think we got someone or whatever. And I kind of thought, that's long, because I really wanted to go on there, sort of thing. Like when Josh said about it, he said, you might come on the Kickoff, and then it didn't happen for whatever reason. And I remember thinking like, shit, man. And I was glad that I'd never told anyone like, I might be going on the Kickoff this week or whatever, because I'd have looked like an idiot. And then when Josh said, look, like, you're not needed this week or whatever, I remember I was just like, yeah, okay, cool, sweet, no worries, like, whatever. But deep down I was gutted, because I was like, fuck, man, like, I'd have loved the opportunity to do that, because I'd been a fan of the Kickoff for years and whatnot. And then the next weekend I ended up going on, and then things spiraled from there. So I would say really going on the Kickoff was my big break. But I wouldn't have got to a position to have been able to go on the Kickoff had it not been for working on my personal channel. So what I'm trying to say to you is be consistent, put videos out, put all your passion into it, and then disconnect from it the second you upload it. Because if you don't get big views on it and whatnot, and you've put all that hard work and time into it, it could be like doing a day's hard labour, and at the end of it, your boss not paying you. You're not going to want to go back for the next day. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I treat it like. Kurt Zuma, do I like Updog? What's up, dog? I don't know. What's up, dog? Calm Prescott all over again. Yeah, round one. Oh my God, who is L Rob 26? Who wins, Dean or Hayden Sharif? This is someone that knows me somehow. So Hayden Sharif is a journeyman. Well, he's like a journeyman from, I think, Leeds or somewhere, Manchester. And I had a fight. Sorry, I'm doing a little arm exercise I have to do every day in a minute. I had a fight, and the opponents kept pulling out. And on the day of this fight, I was told, look, like, fucking, we ain't really got no one for you. And I'm like, I've sold a load of tickets and whatever. Loads of stuff went wrong on this day. It was a horrible thing, really. So my little pre-fight ritual, was I always used to go and see my nan before my fights. On the day of my fight, I used to go and see my nan and whatnot, and sit with her for a little bit. And my nan's house was like, I grew up in my nan's house. It was like my little comfort place and whatnot. So I used to sit with my nan and whatever on the day of the fight. And it's about to get really grim now. Anyway, day of the fight, I went there and I opened the door and whatnot, walked in, and my nan was dead basically. So I walked in on her, not knowing. No one had called me or texted me because it had been there my fight. They probably didn't know I was going there. My family didn't want to worry me. They probably thought, get the fight out of the way, then we'll tell him, and whatnot. And then like the promoter was like, right, we got someone, and I'm like, not even with it because I've just walked in on that, and I'm like, not even with it. And they were like, yeah, we've got someone. He's coming down, Hayden Sharif. And then I've had a look at him, and as I say, he's like a journeyman, but he's beating people. Like, he's rocking up to win. I then boxed him, and I just boxed the ears off him, really. I won every round against him. It wasn't a close fight at all, but I played it very safety first. It's on YouTube, and you wouldn't believe that that's like the same version of me that you see fight now, because I was fighting with a lot less sort of aggression and whatnot. I was just sort of coasting my way. My head wasn't really in the fight, but I won every round against him. But he's now doing the rounds, isn't he? Because there's a video that's gone viral of him knocking some guy Spark out on BKFC or BKB or whatever it's called. So people are now starting to know about this Hayden Sharif, and then a few people like maybe El Rob 26 in the chat have put two and two together and realised that I boxed Hayden Sharif. So yeah, mad. Did you see Don Roman's comments about the situation of Chelsea? I saw something, but I didn't know whether they were his exact comments or not. So yeah, don't know on that one. Babiaro. Did Celestine Babiaro play for Newcastle as well? Did we sign him from Newcastle? I think we might have done, you know. Yeah. True Geordie. Love you, man. Yep, I love True Geordie too. Madueke doesn't deserve to start, but who else should we put there? Well, Pedro Neto on the right wing is a very good option. Jadon Sancho's got the left wing locked down, so that's all good. That's if you feel that Madueke doesn't deserve to start. I've got him in my lineup. Check out mine and Josh's latest video, obviously. We've got our starting lineups, our preferred starting lineups for the West Ham game on there. Yes, we've got the big dog in the chat. Josh Aveste. Josh, I don't know how long you've been in here, but you've been getting some high praise in this chat. We have had someone from the USA ask me to tell you how good looking you are, for one. We've had someone ask on a scale of 1 to 10 how good your ability to pull birds is. Yeah. So, a lot of chat about the big dog in the live chat. Thought about not inviting you. Not inviting me to what? Not inviting me to what? Oh, not inviting me to the kickoff. You're a wanker. Right. Joey, I understand 100%. My nan unfortunately passed away from brain hemorrhage, and I was unfortunate the one that found her kept going. Sorry to hear that, mate. Sorry to hear that. Thoughts are with you, your family. What do you honestly think will happen on Monday night against West Ham? I think we'll beat them. I think we're going to beat them 3-0. I think Potter's going to rock back up to the bridge and get smashed. Solid 6.9. We know he likes a solid 69. Tell the lads about this video going out tomorrow. Right. Okay. So there is a man named Brian Johnson, yeah? Not the Liver King, because his name's Brian Johnson as well. But There's a man named Brian Johnson who has just recently been the star of a Netflix documentary called Don't Die. And it is basically following his journey to genetically reverse his age. And he believes in doing so, he will be able to add significant longevity to his life, right? So he follows what he calls the blueprint, and it's this routine that he does in a day in, day out basis, basically, which involves him taking hundreds of pills, doing loads of like I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin the documentary for you, so I won't tell you everything. But doing some very suspect things, doing some very dodgy things, and doing some things that I personally just think are weird. Me and Josh had sort of contrasting opinions on it. Josh believed that it had a lot of benefits for, you know, the studies of science and whatnot, and I basically just thought he was a fucking weirdo, to be honest. So it's a good podcast. It's a good podcast. Have I heard the rumours that Mudrik's passed the B sample? It's been in the chat all day, but all stream it's been in the chat that Mudrik's passed the B sample. I don't know. I don't know how you can pass a B sample, mate. I've never heard of someone passing a B sample. It's literally taken from the same bit of piss, you know? I don't know, but there's apparently rumours about it. There's rumours about it in Josh's dreams. Yeah, I think Josh would happily drink Mudrik's B sample, to be honest. I think he'd be bang up for that. Everton 3 up, fucking hell. Oh, Newcastle 1-1. Brian's not going to be happy. I haven't even seen who scored for who, so let's guess. I'm going to say that Isaac has scored for Newcastle. Oh, it's already come up now. Murphy and Jimenez. Robertson setting it up. Mudryk. Let's type in Mudryk and see if... No real news I'm seeing on Mudryk passing the B sample. Right, people, I'm going to be coming off here in a minute, so I'm going to answer like 5 last questions. Get them in. They don't have to be football related. More likely to answer them if they're not football related. I always do this in my streams. Cap it off with a few non-football related questions. So get them in and I'll answer them, but I'm doing like 5 more and then I'm getting off because I've got to get ready because I'm going round my mates for dinner tonight. Right. If you could scrap any former Premier League player on Misfits, who would you choose? I think we all know who I'd choose, mate. Jamie Carragher. Just having a little look. Is there interest between you and Josh to make videos on massively publicised cases like the McCanns, Mendes brothers? Yeah, 100%. 100% there is, and we will be doing that. Our original plan was to like grow the channel to a point where when we did drop those videos, we had a solid subscriber count behind us, because they're not going anywhere, those videos. And I think that especially with the Madeleine McCann case, I know I've got strong views on it, and yeah, so that's going to be a great podcast when we do it. We are definitely going to do a lot of the bigger cases, definitely on the true crime side of things, but we don't want to sort of pigeonhole ourselves into true crime and true crime only. Joey, first time going to England, what city? So I said it earlier on in the chat. My favourite city in England is Newcastle. I like the people. I like the women. It's a little bit colder up there. That's the only thing. But yeah, I've had some fun times in Newcastle. So it's like, yeah, it's good for a party and everyone's nice up there. But obviously London, really, because then you can come and watch the mighty Chelsea. As someone who's becoming a young father soon, any advice? Yeah. How young are you? Any advice? Any advice? Well, it doesn't really get hard until they're crawling, and then you can't take your eyes off them because they're, you sit them down, they can fall off the sofa, all sorts and whatnot. And at first, like, whenever your baby first hurts themselves, like, say they bump their head or something like that, you're like, oh my god, should we take her to the hospital? And then all of a sudden, like, now, like, my daughter will, like, open the fridge door and it slams her in the head, and I just look at her, I'm like, you alright? And she's like, yep. She's got a granite chin like her daddy. So, yeah, you'll get used to it over time. But main thing I'd say, as someone becoming a young father, mate, just cherish it. Yeah, enjoy the time that you have with them. Make sure you spend as much time with them as possible, and remember, persevere, because your relationship will get harder if you're with the mother already. Your relationship with her will have a lot of strain, because the woman's going to have a lot of strain on them through obviously the process of raising the child and whatnot. And at times, unfortunately for us men, she's going to fucking take it out on you. But it's not easy raising a baby, just as much as it's not easy to be the breadwinner and whatnot. So you're both in a hard situation, but don't let it affect your relationship, because although pretty much every one of my, and I hate the phrase broken home, because like every one of my friends come from a broken home, i.e. their mum and dad aren't together, but all their mum and dads fucking get along and that anyway. So I don't like that phrase, but you want to try as much to keep together with the woman that you have the baby with as well. So remember to still have time for each other. Yeah. Don't know how I got on to giving it. Well, I do. You asked the question, but who wants my advice on that? I don't know. But that would be my advice on becoming a first time dad at a young age. Would you ever fight on Aiden Ross's brand risk if it got offered to you and Misfits allowed it? No, not, well, I don't think so. No, I'd like to stay loyal to Misfits. Misfits have been very, very good to me, and I'd like to show my loyalty to Misfits. So no, not something I'll be actively looking to do. No. 19. That is young. Fucking hell, that is young. Yeah. Stay out the pubs and stay off the packet. I'm not saying you do it, but yeah. Stay clean head, clean body, clean mind helps you raise a baby in the right way. But think about it this way. When your baby's 16, say you have a little boy, when he's 16, yeah, you're only going to be fucking 36, 35. And you can go to the football and have beers together and stuff. It'd be a right laugh. So yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I became a dad at like 20. What was I? 26, something like that. Yeah, 26. Yeah. So yeah. Hello, mate. 2 questions: favorite pundit and favorite commentator. Favorite pundit. Who do I like? What pundits do I like to listen to? I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna go like mainstream pundit. I've been listening to a lot of Matt Letizia recently, but he's not even a pundit anymore, is he? Favorite pundit, Jermaine Genius. Not joking. Who would I say? Pundit wise, who's decent? Darren Bent. I like Darren Bent on TalkSport. Don't know. Don't ask me why. But as a pundit, I like Darren Bent. Commentator. Don't know really. I don't know. It's hard to answer that one. Back in the day, would obviously have been Martin Tyler. Romero having a daughter too. Yeah. Yeah, girls are good, mate. Daughter, remember, daddy's girl. The daughter's always gonna love daddy more than she loves. Well, not more than she loves mummy, but you know what I mean. You get mummy's boys and daddy's girls. So there you go. George Harwood, big up. How's things, mate? Favorite cheat meal? Ooh, cheat meal. Depends on what I'm craving. But I don't know if Josh is still in the chat. We had this burger. And we used to have it We used to have it with Brian, and then I got it with Josh round his house, but I don't know what it is. I don't know where it's from. It's a burger place, and I had a chicken burger. That's what I'm craving at the minute, because I've been dieting at the second, and yeah. Although tonight I'm having a cottage pie, Charlie Bingham cottage pie. Gonna put some Parmesan cheese on top of it. Cottage pie for dinner. Got a garlic breadstick, and I'm gonna have that for dinner as a cheat meal tonight. So yeah. The pods with James Alcott are class. Thanks, mate. Yeah, that was good fun doing that. Who is your favourite comedian? Frankie Boyle is mine. Yeah, don't see much of Frankie Boyle nowadays, do you? I mean, you probably do if you look in the right places, which you clearly do, and I'm not. I believe that the best of all time is Ricky Gervais, but when you say comedian, I think probably you're more thinking about like stand up and whatnot. And I'm not a massive watcher of Ricky Gervais's stand up. I've watched loads of it, obviously, but yeah, probably Ricky Gervais is my favourite. Well, just anything. Don't even know what to label him as. Creator of TV series, comedies, films, even stuff like that. Anything comedic, Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant were my favourites. In terms of actual comedy, like stand-up comedy, who do I like? Don't listen to loads of it. Shout out Travis and KG. They're comedians. They make me laugh. Right, people. I think I'm gonna duck out now because I need to have a bath. Starting to smell myself. Yeah, people. Thank you very very much. We've done an hour and 41 minutes. That's pretty good going. In my opinion. So definitely good. And obviously, a few things that I need to say to you before I go. Firstly, love you all very much. Secondly, make sure you watch the podcast that dropped this morning, which is me and Josh, obviously previewing the West Ham game. We give our preferred starting 11. We speak about Jorgensen over Sanchez and whatnot. Make sure you are locked in to Joey and Josh tomorrow. I want to say morning. Is it morning, early afternoon, late morning, whatever? Probably around 11:30 a.m. We are going to be dropping the podcast where we talk about the documentary that was in the #1 chart on Netflix called Don't Die, which is about a guy called Brian Johnson who's trying to genetically reverse his age, who I believe is a bit of a weirdo, but Josh believes there's a lot of benefits to it and whatnot. Monday night, 7:45, I would say 7:40, I will go live off of this channel for the Chelsea West Ham game. It will be the first live watch along I've done since the cup final against Liverpool with Josh last season. And I think that's about it. I think that is about it for now. So I hope everyone has a really, really good weekend, and I will see you all